So Krishna Karnamritam, the name itself, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Karna Amritam, that which is like nectar or amritam for the ears, that is this entire composition, Krishna Karnamritam. Okay. Now this Krishna Karnamritam is divided into three sections. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Now what the composer, I'll tell you about the author name, etc. later. What the composer tries to say is he describes the pastimes of Lord Krishna, that is this Krishna Karnamritam that is there. Now, this text is a very auspicious text, or you can say a text which has been rediscovered. So it was written and then it was kept as it is, and in the later times also it is rediscovered. Like this, of course, you have different opinions about the text, but that is what is said. So it seems that nectar, Amritam, flows when we chant this stotra. Now, let me give you a disclaimer before we start. Now, Krishna Karanamritam, if you see, it does not follow one specific meter. Anyone has gone through the text? I think I shared the text today evening. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So if you would have seen those shlokas, it does not follow a particular meter. You can consider somewhat similar to Narayana. But at least in Narayana, for one dashakam, you have a particular tune also. Here also now some people chant in different tunes, some people also sing it in different ways. Now in my case, I have not, I cannot sing of course, and tune also one particular tune that is there we will consider and chant. But yes, you can chant it in different tunes, you can also sing it, no problem. So different people do it in different ways. So it is not Anushtup Chandas, that is will not be like a proper a Gita or a Vishnu Sahasranama shloka also. At the same time, like Narayanyam, you can sing it in different tunes, that is okay. So this is one special aspect of Krishna Karnamrita. Now to look at the story. Now, the person who has composed this Krishna Karanamritam is called as Sri Leela Shukar. Leela Shukar is the name of the person, name of the author, who is popularly known as Vilva Mangala Swami. Vilva Mangala or Bilva Mangala. Bava, they are used interchangeably. Vilva Mangala Swami. And here, if you see, this Krishna Karanamritam, another name for Krishna Karanamritam is Madhura Leela. Madhura Leela, or you can also call it as Madhura Kavyam. Now, why Madhura Kavyam or Mathura Kavyam? Madhura, now it can be interpreted in two meanings, two ways. Madhuraha meaning that which is sweet. At the same time, Mathura, that Lord who lived in Mathura. Now, if you see the child, so basically Krishna Karanamritam talks about the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna. But if we go through the stories, we know that Krishna did not spend his childhood in Mathura. The child was only born in Mathura. But he spent his childhood in Gokulam, Vrindavanam, and so on. So basically, you can call it as Madhura Kavyam, or a very sweet composition text, which describes the childhood pastimes of the Lord very beautifully. This Vilva Mangala Swami has described in this text. So they are basically you can consider as small poems also. So here Krishna's stories or Krishna's Leelas as a small baby, as a small child, and then as a boy. So, in different stages of life, the stories are described. Further, if you see, just as Shukabrahma describes Krishna Leela stories in Srimad Bhagavatam, similarly, here this Leela Shukar describes the stories of Krishna in Krishna Karnamritam. That is how it is said. And that's how, in fact, that's how he gets his name also as Leela Shukar. Shukar, that name is there, or Shuka is there. Leela is because he talks about Krishna Leelas. So that's how he gets this name. And this now Vilva Mangala Natha, Vilva Mangala or Vilva Mangalatha. Uh, now in different ways the Swami is called. Vilva Mangala Swami, he was a great devotee of Lord Gurvarappan, as I told you. It is believed that he lived in Kerala. And it seems that whenever the author used to call the Lord, it seems that Lord Krishna used to come. That was the level of devotion which this Vilva Mangalacharya had. And in fact, just as Lord Guruvarappan did for Bhattatri, similarly here also, when Vilva Mangala Swami used to compose shlokas, it seems that Lord Krishna used to nod his head as a sign of approval. It seems that yes, whatever you're doing, everything is going good, please continue. And for those shlokas wherein the Lord did not shake his head, it seems that Vilvamangalacharya he did not approve those shlokas. That is, those shlokas did not become a part of Krishna Karanamritam, it seems. So, like Bhattatri, Lord Gurvarappan's approval was sought by this Leela Shukar also, and that's why each of these shlokas are approved by the Lord. So similarly, be it Narayanyam or be it Krishna Karnamritam, these are all shlokas. Or what makes these texts distinct or different from other compositions is the Lord Himself has heard each and every text. For next month, not even next month, maybe the next 15-20 days or so, you have the one day one dashakam that starts in next 100 days, which are dedicated for Lord Bhattatri. Lord Bhattatri took 100 days to compose, wherein every day he used to compose a verse and compose a dashakam, and every dashakam, every shloka used to be approved by the Lord. So these two texts, be it Krishna Karnamritam or Narayanyam, why they are so special is while they were being composed itself, the Lord was a witness. And these authors, be it Bhattatri or be it Vilvamangalacharya, both of them, if they did not get approval from the Lord, if the Lord did not nod his head, they should not compose or they should not accept that shloka, it seems. So each and every words, if today we are chanting these shlokas, we are knowing about them, we are all blessed because these shlokas have been heard by the Lord only. The Lord has been the approver, right? Now today if you write something, if you compose a text or you write a book or so, you have to get so many from the publisher, this, that, everything. There is some copyright issue, this issue, that issue. You have to get approval from different places, right? For these texts, the Lord Himself was an approver. That's why they are very, very special because in the first copy itself, the Lord noted down everything. If there were any corrections or so, the Lord used to tell. Of course, there were no corrections because both of them were great scholars. And when you talk about the Leela of the Lord, there is no place for correction at all. You call Him as Krishna or you chant entire Krishna Ashtakam, that it doesn't matter for the Lord. What matters is you're chanting the Nama of the Lord. So here, but these composers who were there, they were doing their duty well, and both of them, be it Bhattatri or this Vilva Mangalacharya, both of them decided that if the Lord does not approve, if Lord Guruvarappan does not approve, we will not compose. So one more reason why Narayanyam, Krishna Karnamritam are blessed texts is because they have been composed in the Sannidhi of Lord Guruvayur, of Lord Guruvarappan only in the temple of Guruvayur. Now, with regards to Bhattatri, there are evidences which say that Bhattatri was inside the temple of Lord Guruvayur. Few devotees had brought him there, and that's how he composed. But with regards to Vilvamangalacharya, it is not said so. It is just mentioned that he was a great devotee of Guruvarappan and he used to seek the approval of Guruvarappan after composing every shloka. So, did it take place inside the temple of Guruvayur or maybe he had another idol of Guruvarappan? It is still a matter of confusion, but that doesn't matter to us. What matters is the Lord's grace was there upon the author and ultimately to all of us also. Now, here, this text that is Krishna Karna Amritam, it shows the amount of love and bhakti that the author had towards Lord Guruvarappan, and it is very, very beautiful. It seems even merely listening, studying, or reciting, do anything, that doesn't matter. It develops intense bhakti. The Phalashruti of Krishna Karna Amritam is nothing but prema bhavam and bhakti bhavam towards the Lord, nothing else, right? So this is something. Now I don't know how many of you are experiencing, or maybe I am not that maybe that level to tell you, but in general, if you hear someone talking about Krishna Karnamritam, or even if you hear the shloka, anyone has heard you, or maybe you hear it now, in the near future you can experience, it just develops intense prema and devotion towards the Lord that is there, nothing more, right? Wherein when we read these shlokas, we can actually experience the love which the author had, and through his experience, he shares the same with all of us also. So, this is something about Krishna Karnamritam, a very, very beautiful text. Now, the okay, till here is everyone following? Yes? Okay. Now, okay, yeah. Now, the background, how the author got an inspiration to compose this text. Now, somewhat you can consider the time period of this text around 9 to 15th century or so. The exact time period is not known. Now, Vilvamangalacharya, it is believed that in his initial days of his life, he is said to have maybe just wasted his time here and there and so on, like most of us, right? So now this is a very clear intention to tell that be it human beings or be it great scholars or these acharyas, there is a phase in life wherein not everyone is perfect, right? Right from the time you are born, you are just doing great things. It doesn't happen that way. All of us, we do have some things here and there, maybe a time period in one's life wherein we feel, oh, when you look back today, now you're most of you are senior, right? Maybe 50 years, 60 years. When you look back, say 10 years, 20 years before, you feel, oh, I should have not done that. Here the Lord gives. Now, this doesn't mean that We should not feel bad about it, or we should not try to improve or so, let me do anything, it's okay. It's not that attitude, but the Lord tries to give a very clear message through these authors that life is there. There are going to be mistakes, there are going to be regrets, but if we stay there only lifelong, then we can never move about. But we should be thankful that at least now a turning point has come, like for these acharyas like Bhattatri or Vilva Mangalacharya, wherein they got a turning point, they got an opportunity to serve the Lord. Lord says, you take this as a blessing, you don't have to look back. What happened, that has happened, right? So here also with this acharya, what happened is he was just whiling about his time here and there, he was wasting his time, and on an island it seems that he met a particular person called Chintamani, and he went and told that person. Now, the Chintamani was a great scholar, and he went and told that this Vilva Mangala, he told, I'm not able to focus my attention on anything. I just feel that I'm just wasting time. Like it happens with us also, right? Some days we feel, oh, what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything. So, I don't feel like doing anything. My focus is not there on anything. Please guide me. What should I do? That's when Chintamani, the scholar, said that you devote yourself completely to Krishna, and now, this Vilvamangalacharya is said to be a great scholar. In some references, it is said to be a female also. Yeah. So, then, now these are all, you can say, folklores. Now, it is said that, I'm not very sure how it is. It is also believed that this Chintamani who was there was a prostitute lady. Yeah, that is also said in some references. Why again such a leela was being done is, it doesn't happen that always we get inspiration from great people, great gurus, gods. Can be even from normal people or from any section of the society or from anyone. It doesn't matter, even from non-living things also. So who can come and inspire us, when, how, we never know, right? So this text is also to it gives a very important message saying that there should be equality, and there was equality in the society. We should never judge a person who tries to teach us something. Now here, whoever the opposite person is, what she told Vilva Mangalacharya was a turning point in his life, that you devote yourself to the Lord, right? So the message that is conveyed is what is considered to be important. So that's how he started, and it seems that this Acharya considered Chintamani to be his guru. And Vilva Mangalacharya, he traveled to Vrindavan to develop bhakti, to look at the places where the Lord had spent and so on. And it is believed that he lived in Vrindavanam, he spent the final days of his life there, and that is where he composed his text. And it is believed that Krishna himself had come and seen the poems of Vilva Mangalacharya in Vrindavanam. Right? Now, of course, northern tradition, southern tradition is different. Southern, we have wherein the tradition says that Vilva Mangalacharya was a great devotee of Lord Guruvayurappan. Northern tradition, it is said that Vilva Mangalacharya traveled to Vrindavanam and composed the poems. So it can be it Krishna, be it Guruvayurappan, it's one and the same, right? Now, there are three sections to this texts. It is called as Ashwasas or Ashwasas, you can call, or three sections, and each of these sections comprises about 100 verses each, right? And in some I think in some manuscripts in Bengal also, you have about 112 verses, a few additional verses that are there. It talks about the pastimes of Krishna while he was in Vrindavanam. He explains the Rasa Leela, Bhakti, and so on. And but ultimately, though it talks about mere bhakti, it talks about attaining reality, or knowing the ultimate reality, or attaining moksha. That is the main purpose of this text. And mainly it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again a great devotee of the Lord, he has lot of influence in the eastern part of Bharatadesha. So this text Krishna Karnamritam has become a very very important text in eastern Bharata. That is there, a very important text for Vaishnavism especially. And that's how it is said that from Vrindavanam he went slowly towards the eastern regions from Bengal, and that's how he proceeded southwards. So like this you have the tradition of Vilva Mangalacharya that is said. Now, further, it is said that now there are few more traditions which say that this Acharya, Leela Shukar or Vilva Mangala Swami, who we call the composer of Krishna Karnamritam, initially it is said that he was a Shaivite, he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, but somehow he got attached to Lord Krishna. And in north side also, you call this, Vilva Mangala Swami is called, in northern Bharata, if you go, Uttara Bharatam, they call him as Vilva Mangala Thakur. Now, Thakur is a sign of respect. Like we say Swami, similarly, Thakur is also used as a word for respecting gurus, acharyas also. So, Vilvamangala Thakur is that's how he is addressed in northern India, and it is believed that his samadhi is there in Mathura even today. And the local legends that are there, they say that Vilvamangalacharya has come from Dakshina Bharat. So, like this, there are different texts. Then there are some commentators who say that he belonged to Kerala also. Now, why this reason came in? Now, yes, Sanjeev, do you want to say something? Yes, correct. That's a sign of respect. Now, why are there speculations saying that uh, this Acharya, Vilvamangala Swami, he belonged to southern India because in several shlokas, the author he describes Lord Krishna wearing a gold chain with a tiger's nail. Now, if you see, tiger's nail is present only in Kerala, right? So, this is a tradition that is there. Even today, if you go to Guruvayur temple also in the outside shops you will find such chains with a nail and things like that, right? This was and is still done in Kerala only where you have those tigers nails also that are used. So because this description was being done, that's the reason people assume that he belonged to Dakshina Bharat. So like this there are different opinions, but in all you can consider that the author he traveled to many places wherein the Lord was there, be it Guruvayur, he was a great devotee of Lord Guruvayur, he traveled to Vrindavanam, his Samadhi is there in Mathura, and so on, right? And it seems that now this text, now the Acharya, this author, he composed a text, but he was not known much for spreading the same among the masses. That's when you had Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who did that in the Bengal region that is there. And further, it is believed that some people they went to Kerala Desham, they went to Tiruvananthapuram, and that's how they got this work discovered and it spread amongst the people. And it seems that this Vilvamangala Swami is known not only for composing this Krishna Karnamritam, is also set for visiting and building many temples of Kerala. And apart from this, also there are many other stotras which he has composed, like Ganapati Stotram, Durga Stuti, Balakrishna Stuti, Balagopala Stotram, and so on. Like this, there are many stotras that are there. And on days, now I told you that each shloka which the author composed, the Lord used to approve. Lord used to nod his head as a sign of approval. Those shlokas which the Lord did not approve, it seems that on those days the Swami used to starve, he used to not eat anything because he felt that okay, the Lord is not approved, that means I have to make a lot of changes. And maybe my bhakti is less also. So that's how he used to live because this was the amount of bhakti which he had. If the Lord did not approve, nothing else will work. I have to completely change myself. Now, some references say that there is only one chapter, but please note that there are three sections to this book, and there are, of course, different translations also that are there. Yeah. So now this apart from this, Krishna Karanamritam is a devotional text, no doubt, but it is also a great Sanskrit text of poetic excellence. Because what the Lord, the author who was there, he had only bhakti towards the Lord. At the same time, he was a great Sanskrit scholar. Even in the case of Narayanam, if you see, Bhattatri, he composed the shlokas with an attribute saying that I want to cure my illness, no doubt. He talked about the Krishna Leela stories, but the Sanskrit that he uses shows the amount of excellence that Bhattatri had. So these authors, though they had bhakti, it doesn't mean that anything, whatever comes to our mind, I'll just do that. It doesn't happen that way. Each and every verse has got a lot of importance that is there. Yeah. Now, here also, like Narayanyam, this text is also said to cure all kinds of diseases, especially all kinds of mental worries that are more than physical illnesses. Most of us we suffer from mental worries. Mental worries, it can be a very simple thing. Someone told me something, the entire day I'm thinking about the same thing. It can be such a small thing, right? But it affects our mind. Or you have some news that is going on, this and that. So many things that happen, right? Now in a day, if you see, now all this whatever I'm telling, this has been told by commentators who have read or who have studied Krishna Karnamrita. I'm not saying of my own. So they said that in a human being's life, if you consider one day, that is 24 hours. In that 24 hours, all of us also we can see for ourselves how many hours are we actually happy, how many hours are we actually sad, how many, let us not even say sad, How many hours are we thinking of something which is totally useless, right? Now, I'm not saying that okay, for entertainment purpose, maybe we do something, that is another thing, but maybe it can be very small thing. Like I gave you an example, some you had an argument with someone also, and it's useless, right? But that thought is something which lingers in our mind the entire day. Maybe from morning till evening, it's night time. Night also you cannot sleep because of the thought, right? But so this the commentators they say that these are even small worries that are there, and human beings' mind get distracted towards such things. That's the reason if there is some negative news also, it's spread about very easily, right? But for human beings, it takes a lot of time to come out of that. This is nothing but human nature. It happens with everyone. But by reading this great text, Krishna Karnamritam, by reading through the bhakti which the author had towards the Lord, by reading the childhood stories, the pastimes of the Lord, bhakti bhavam, prema bhavam develops in us, and it reduces all our worries. We stop thinking about our worries and we feel blessed that there are going to be worries, there are going to be problems that come in my life and that may go, it's all due to my karma, this, that, whatever it is. But reading such texts will definitely give me strength, and at least for a limited time, I'll be able to gain some peace also. I'll be happy looking at the stories of the Lord. I'll feel blessed saying that the Lord has given me an opportunity to read his stories and so on. So like this the commentators themselves, of course, they have shared their experience. Let's see now how each one of us we have our experience. Yeah. Okay. So this is just a small introduction of Krishna Karnamritam composed by Sri Bilva Mangala Swami, who is also known as Leela Shukar.